Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome to my sewing room. I'm a fabric lover and upcycling addict. I sew clothes from scratch as well as upcycling. If you love creative makes, stay tuned and let's make something fabulous. Today's project is all about this beautiful IKEA tablecloth. I bought this secondhand, although it seems to be completely unused. It's the Sostren tablecloth, 100% cotton. It's a lovely weight. It's actually quite sturdy, like most of the IKEA cottons are. So what am I planning to make with it? I originally thought I was going to make a trousers and top. Then when it arrived, the pattern is huge. So I sort of changed my mind and I'd gone towards the dress or a skirt and top. But I've gone full circle and I've come back to trousers and a top again. I've decided, I've seen several of these made on Instagram recently by various different people, various versions in various fabrics, and I absolutely love these trousers, how they look. So I'm going to have a bash at these, which is the geezer trousers from Fibre Mood. They're sort of slightly jean-like, but they have these really cool panels down the sides, which I really love the detailing on, and I'm going to somehow try and highlight the seams if I can, with some top stitching on this lovely fabric. I'm also going to do some sort of little sun top as well, so it looks like more of a sort of jumpsuit vibe, and I've also got separates that I can wear with other things as well. So that's the plan. Let's get started. So first of all, I'm just going to fold it in half, the longest sides together, and lay it on my cutting table. So I've laid the fabric out and flattened it out. Let's get the pattern pieces and see how we can lay these out. So first of all, I just roughly lay the pattern pieces out just so that I can get an idea of how much I can get out of fabric and where things are going to be placed actually on the fabric. Once I've worked out sort of where I want the pieces, then I concentrate more on actually getting the pieces in the right place and getting them square by lining up the grain lines along the selvage edges, by measuring from the grain line to the selvage and making sure the piece is actually square. So as you can see, I've just lengthened the grain line there because I find with Fibre Mood they never make their grain lines long enough for me, because I like to measure from the side to make sure that I've got the pattern piece perfectly straight. So once everything's straight, I can get it pinned onto the fabric, and then once it's pinned on, I can cut it out. So I've just started cutting out, and I've just realised that this pocket is really, really short. So I actually want to lengthen the pocket and the pocket bag so that they're both, I can actually fit my hand in, because there's nothing worse than having really small pockets on trousers. I really like deep, lovely pockets that I can get my hands in. So I'm just going to draw on here a bigger pocket. So I'm going to cut around that line and make the pocket a couple inches deeper as well. So everything's cut out. We have the front, back, side pieces. We have the back pocket, front pocket, the zipper guard, the belt loops and the waistband. So everything's there. Just get ready to sew it. So I'm starting with the zipper in the front sections. I've already done the pockets on the front. So I pin it and then sew it all the way around the crotch. And then I'm going to put the zip in, starting on the left-hand side front. Put the zip in, then put the zipper guard on and sew the other side and top stitch. Then I move on to the construction of the actual trousers by firstly putting the side panels in, attaching them to the front, and then I will attach the back sections to those side pieces as well. So I've just pinned the side panel into one front piece. I'm going to do the same on the other side and then sew both the side panels to the completed front section. Sewing the side seams first of all, and then once they're sewn I can top stitch them with a top stitch thread to make it really stand out. Before I attach the back sections to the fronts that I've sewn, I'm going to just pin and sew the back patch pockets on. So I'll top stitch all around them once they're done, and then Next thing to do is to interface the waistband, and then I'm going to attach the waistband to the almost completed trousers. I've made belt loops, which I'm just cutting into the individual sections, and they will get pinned onto the waist. So I've sewn the waistband on and finished that. I need to top stitch all the way around the waistband first before I attach the belt loops onto the waistband, like so. And then I just need to do the hem and a fastening. So now I'm just top stitching around the waistband. You have to watch the lumps on the edges because they are quite high to go around. So just take it steady and take it slowly. Make sure your top stitching stays straight because it does sort of highlight on the fabric and looks good. The waistband is really thick on the edges there where it's got lots of layers. So I'm just going to use a little hump jumper there just to put under my foot, just to give the foot something to feed on while I'm actually feeding the fabric through. So as you can see, there's tiny little stitches there where the machine just couldn't cope with going over the thickness of the fabric, which is not an ideal looking situation, but it is what it is. Nothing's ever perfect in sewing. So now I'm just top stitching the belt loops onto the top of the waistband, using the top stitch and lining it up with the top stitch that's already there so that it looks lovely and neat. So I'm just going to pin up the hem. I'm going to pin it up to the inside to start with. Right, so that's it pinned to the inside. I'm now going to move the pins to the outside so that I can actually just top stitch around there. So I pin it on there, but it just gets it on that side. So I can now take that pin out and then move around there. Do exactly the same all the way around. And once it's done all the way around on that side, you can just top stitch all the way around the hem. So I couldn't find any buttons that I liked, so I'm actually putting press studs on, and I found these lovely rose gold ones. They were the last two that I had left, so I'm just carefully actually inserting them. And then we can do the zipper, and then you can see they're beautifully finishing the waistband there. So these are my finished trousers, really bright and really bold. Not sure how I'm going to style them moving forward, but they definitely are going to get me noticed, and I love them. I love the style. I recommend this pattern completely. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. These trousers are fabulous, and I recommend this geezer trouser pattern by Fibre Mood, definitely. If you want to see more fun sewing and upcycling, please subscribe to my channel. Obviously like the video if you like this one about these trousers. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.